Hi, I'm nervous, and today we are going to be late to the party once again. We're reacting to the new Poppy Playtime trailers. I thought there was just one, but when I was going to load things up for this video, I realized we've missed two, which is fine. I don't need to do a reaction video every single time a trailer drops. I'm not the authority on Poppy Playtime, but I am trying really hard to learn everything I can. Last time we reacted to a trailer, you may remember that I didn't know anything about the Chapter 4 ARG. So before I watched either of these trailers, I went and I watched an hour and 30 long minute video all about the ARG, going in depth, and I forgot who made that video, but it's on the screen right now, so I'm giving credit where credit is due. But then I also watched Terrified T's video about the ARG two or three times. That's just like a recap of the ARG and like the most important things that we needed to know. So I think I'm ready to watch these trailers with all of the information, and I've got a drink that for some reason I'm like using as an emotional support animal right now. It's literally Christmas Eve right now as I'm recording this. I really debated not even making a video this week, but I want to talk about this. I want to talk more about Poppy Playtime. I want to be more informed. It's one of those things that on the surface, it just really doesn't interest me very much. But every time I go explore the auxiliary media around it, like, why did my TV just turned on all by itself? That's alarming. It's one of those things that whenever I view it from the more mainstream point of view, Poppy Playtime just doesn't really interest me that much. But every time I look into the auxiliary media surrounding it, like the ARG stuff, right, that surrounds the franchise, I really like the story. It's very dark and, I mean, twisted. It itches the true crime part of my brain, but not the true crime, you know? The true part of it is what's left out. It's fake crime. The fake crime of it all really makes me interested. So now that I know more about the ARG, now that I know about Elliot Ludwig's Bigger Brains Initiative, that's not what it's called. This is my problem. I don't have the vocabulary. I'm looking this up. Young Geniuses. Hello. I know all about Elliot's Young Geniuses program. You should just call it the Bigger Brains Initiative. Like, I'm sorry, Poppy Playtime marketing, get a hold of me. Bigger Brains Initiative. Come on. I'm sure I'm the only person, the first person, and the only person who's ever thought of that, because my thoughts are all original thoughts, and nobody thinks the things that I think.
Nobody thinks what I think.
Okay, whatever. All right, I'm done now with my opening, I think. But I know more about the Young Geniuses program and Sawyer's involvement with it and all of that. So if you're not aware, I would go watch those videos, because if I try to break it down right here, I'm going to spread misinformation on the internet. Like the video, subscribe, do all the cool things. Come on, you're watching this like what, like the day after Christmas? Come on. Even if you don't celebrate, I celebrate. So you should give me a great gift, right? That's Christmas spirit. I'm giving you this. You give me a present. Okay, I'm done. All right, I'm so sorry. Let's lock in here. Let me put my headphones on. First, we're gonna react to the one that was released a week ago, Poppy Playtime Toying with Terror trailer. I don't even know if this is necessary, so it might get cut out. So if we jump straight to the second one from here, you'll know this was not actually a trailer for Chapter 4 and was for something else. Yeah. That is for the mobile games. Oh! There is something at the end here. Hold on. Catnap. I've seen this footage. Oh. Hand. Not the prototype. Oh, is that with eyes? Or was that just static? Taken. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Sound off. Also, I'm sorry that the camera like shakes. You, the camera, are on a laptop, on a box, on a TV tray. Here's the tea. I asked for a nice TV tray that doesn't wobble for Christmas, but I know that I'm not getting it. And it's okay, because I can buy it myself, because I'm an adult. I was like, drat. I really could have used that TV tray. So I'm probably going to have to end up buying it for myself anyway, because this one, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. You know what I'm saying? It's a strong, sturdy table. but she's gonna wobble. So I've got the sound off this time. But that's catnap in like an experiment floor, right? And then we've got this hand coming up. But then there's like these flashes. See, it is an eye. That, I think, I would say, if Philman was asking me, which I suppose you kind of in a sense are asking me what I think, that is our first clue that the big bad of this chapter is going to be not the prototype, but also not like Yarnaby or the piano doctor, the piano dinosaur, or any of the other little things we've seen. 2 days after Christmas. You're watching this 2 days after Christmas. I said the day after before, and I lied. If you don't know about the piano dinosaur, assumedly, there's a picture on screen right now, but that was something that was revealed in the ARG and potentially in the trailer we're about to watch, but I don't know yet. The trailer we're about to watch is called The Doctor, though, who I assume is actually going to be the big bad. And if you do know about the ARG, it very well may be Dr. Sawyer, who we know was a big component of the Bigger Bodies Initiative and was a very not cool dude. And for what it's worth, we kind of knew that Dr. Sawyer, I would say, we knew Dr. Sawyer was not a good person prior to this ARG, because every time we heard him, he seemed to be talking down to the children who had been converted. He seemed very cold. And the ARG, if you don't know, did reveal a lot more of that to us. He just didn't seem to have a whole lot of human empathy, right? He seemed dangerous. And so Elliot Ludwig removed him from the program and was like, I hope he learns, to be a more compassionate human. But Dr. Sawyer did not learn that lesson. And in fact, he became very, very bitter. And then later, he was rehired by the company, or he was hired by the company by Leith Pierre, I believe, if I'm getting all of my names right. There's a lot of first and last human names in Poppy Playtime, and I get genuinely confused. But it also seemed he caused a fire of some sort. So a lot of shenanigans have gone down under the watchful eyes of the Doctor.
Hi, it's Editing Nervous. You're going to hear me mention this fire a number of times throughout this video. Upon going back and trying to find what I was talking about, I could only find reference to burned images or burned items. Like a picture was burned and there were some burned plushies that are referenced, but never specifically a fire is mentioned. And I believe, based on what I could gather, that what's actually being referenced when I'm talking about the fire is the incident with Boxy Boo, the first bigger body. Now, it does seem like there is a fire involved in this. Obviously, if there are burned pieces of evidence, burned items, I don't know if someone burned them to try to hide what happened or something along those lines, but I think I just got my wires crossed. However, I cannot find specific confirmation, just theories about different things. So who knows? I suppose we'll find out more in chapter 4, but I wanted to go ahead and say that here. So if you hear me mentioning fire in the video, what's really likely being referenced is that Boxy Boo incident. Okay, back to the video.
Photosensitivity warning. This video contains flashing lights and may potentially trigger seizures for people with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. If that is you, there will be either a chapter or a timestamp on screen, potentially both, directing you past those moments. All right. Lots of rebooting. Wake up. It's just interesting that it says rebooting in a language. That's not how you would see rebooting on a computer, right? We would see it in a fairly analog text, and this is hand scrawled. So interesting. So doctors, in this is the Doctor, the system itself in a way. No. Okay, computers. Cameras.
Where am I?
Where am I? Oh, 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 oh. It's all happening. Oh, no. Oh, it's all happening. Oh, was he? Did they do this to him or something? Oh, my goodness. Is closed captioning available? My creations. My head.
What is this?
Oh, did he not know? Oh, has he been, like, shut down this whole time?
Wrong.
Wrong. No body. No body. Not no body.
This is wrong.
This is wrong. I am broken.
You rat-savage traitors.
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, the bodies came after him different.
Curious.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. What? I would watch it all the way through, but that just freaked me out. What was that? A chunk of meat? Flesh? Oh, no. A brain. Woof. They put his brain in a computer? Somewhere.
I have no idea what kind of mistake you just made.
Oh, gosh. Okay, we'll go back and look at
Yes.
that. I knew he was the eye. Nowhere and yet everywhere.
Are easy to break. You believed mine could be broken too.
No, man. Is that him? Yes, he's the computer boy.
You were wrong.
Oh, I kind of love this. Safe haven. Ooh. Ooh. January 30th. 2025, baby. Wow. Okay. Right off the bat, let me just say this. That was the best Poppy Playtime trailer I've ever seen. It's giving some Outlast vibes in a way. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. And Outlast, not the best video game on the whole planet, but it is one of the scariest ones that I've ever I've never, and I didn't even play it. I was just sitting next to somebody playing it. I might have played some of it. I don't know. I was really bad at it. It was really, mortifyingly scary. Hated. Okay. So I managed to avoid really that reveal of what he looked like. I'm seeing thumbnails. If I go back here, I'm seeing thumbnails where it's clearly present. And I know I've seen these, probably at least I've seen these thumbnails pop up, but like somehow I just avoided what he looked like. But he's got like claw feet. And we're going to go back with no sound this time, just to look at the visuals of it all. But it's like, that's what I was saying, is like this sort of meshing between a more organic and a computer, which is very fitting for Dr. Sawyer being this sort of machine but organic monster. So someone or something starts this computer back up that's been powered down. I'm wondering if that's him, if Yarnaby did it, or if somehow he was able to gain a level of like control over the power. In chapter 3, are we not restoring power to parts of the factory and whatnot as we go? Because there's a lot of batteries in chapter 3. I wonder if we caused this by like we reactivated him by turning the power back on. I don't know. So this is his vision. This is his perspective. Oh, okay, here we go. So, obviously, okay, hold on. Let's go all the way back. Okay. Static. Failed experiment situation. It's clear, or at the very least, experimentation in general. Gory experimentation. We'll just call it that. There's, little clippers, surgical tools, blood splattered about. This one's hard to make out, but it's clearly organic material. It looks like a rat, doesn't it? To me, that's looking like a rat. Tell me that's not a rat. Last video, one of you little viewers, valued viewers, was like making fun of me because I saw something crawl across the screen and I was like, is that a rat? And you were in the comments. I didn't forget about you, but I don't know your name. You said, how big are the rats where you're from? What kind of rats are you seeing around here? He's such a big rat. First of all, perspective. It was the closest thing to the screen. So of course it's going to be bigger looking to us than it actually would be. Two, rats can be huge. And I feel like you haven't seen enough rats. If you think that they're like this, okay? No. Rats can be huge. Let's just get that out of the way. You think they're not? Rats can be huge. All right? 3, now we have a rat on the screen. So who is laughing now? You've been shut down. Okay. Sorry. All right. Oh, hi, buddy. Boxy Boo, hi. And if all of these are from Dr. Sawyer's perspective, I'm kind of getting attacked by Boxy Boo a little bit here, isn't he? Whoo! I don't like that. That's freaky. That's freaky, scary, dude. I don't like that. All right, bigger bodies. Active power security protocol. Okay, sorry. Bigger bodies initiative, but down here. Active security. Active power. 109 protocol. Or something. Not protocol. 109 processes. There we go. So this is him turning on, right? Powering up. Again, really almost seems like we somehow initiated this. All right. He's seen the prototype. This is some kind of, I don't know, blood and open wound? Jesus, what are we looking at here? Nasty blood, definitely. Definitely blood here. No question about that. There's Yarnaby, kind of looking like he's like doing a little, he's waiting or something. More blood. Woof. Ooh, getting attacked again. Oh my gosh. The way that Catnap like looks at you. Blech. Okay. Anyway, just a call back. They seem to have destroyed him, right? Like, is that not what the vibes? Like, in my head, Dr. Sawyer would be the kind of person who would definitely do a bigger bodies experiment on himself in some way. And I don't know why they would turn him into a computer. What if they, like, beat him down and he turned himself into a computer with what he had left? My creations. And then it says, back and forth, across the water, more wayward passenger. Or maybe it's back and forth across the water, more wayward passenger. Then. Well, what is all of this? Then I something. Oh, no, then back and forth. Okay. That's like starting it again. Interesting. My creations. Back here. Because he was the bigger bodies guy. Back to his point of view. He's able to see through maybe all of the cameras. That's why he's like the eye. Ugh, my head. Okay, hold on. What is this? Ugh, my head. Yeah, your head is a computer. This looks like it's just a room. Like a surgery room. There's like a bathtub or a sink. It looks like a tub, though. It looks pretty big for a sink, but it could be a big sink. I don't know. Surgical tools. I'm not a doctor, man. I can't identify this stuff. No body. Where is my body? They will understand I have always been right. Which is like, okay, so, and that is like very much Sawyer's like thing when he's let go from the program. He's so salty about it. He's like, they're traitors and Elliot Ludwig is soft and, they just don't get it. Like, they don't see what I can see. So in this sense, it's kind of almost like a manifesto of sorts that's like loading and or showing up on screen. But yeah, so he when he wakes up, he doesn't have a body. So does he attach a body to himself? Okay, see, look, and this is like post-op. So that other room we saw was like all clean and ready to go. And this is like after clearly there's been a struggle. We can see like things have toppled over. So interesting though. So is it also the bigger bodies that betrayed him? Because I know he talks about traitors. He talks about being let go from the program. But it also just might be the kind of way he sees anyone going against him as a traitor. I mean, it's what the word means, I guess. But I guess my thing is like, why would these bigger bodies be on your side? You're crazy. Okay, I am broken. Ooh, closer. Closer and closer each time. Looks like that says, they broke me. Not just I am broken, they broke me. So from what I can tell, based on the POV shots, assumedly, the POV shots at the beginning of this, the other bigger bodies like Boxy Boo and Huggy Wuggy attacked him and I don't know, maybe ripped his body apart or something. It says they broke me. Closer and closer each time. Hold on. I will find something about loser. Oh no, that's closer. I will find. We'll find something that says I'm a little closer each time. Okay, you backstabbing traitors. Yeah, see, like, I am question mark, question mark, question mark. More closer and closer, and it just says I am. Okay. Different. I have changed. Yes. Kind of realizing. Maybe this is just when he's realizing that there's a machine part of him now or something. Because if he's plugged into the system, he really would have access to all this. He's been watching the whole time we've been here, potentially. If he wasn't turned on. Oh, there's a fire. There's a reference to the fire. I think therefore I am. My mind is intact. It depends on the timeline. You know what I mean? That he got turned into the computer and then also that he repowered up because he's clearly been offline for some time. So maybe he's not been watching us the entire time. You'd think he would probably have intervened a little more, but maybe he's caught up now because he has access to the security footage. So though he has not technically been watching us the entire time, maybe he still has been watching us the entire time. I don't know. The reason I think so hard about this is because I do wonder who is leaving all the information behind that we find along the way, because ever since chapter 1, we've found random videotapes that only play in their like specific VHS player. And I can accept that that's not diegetic, but just a gameplay mechanic to help us understand the lore of the game, because something has to tell it to us that feels related to the space. But I always wonder, I'm like, is there someone leaving us breadcrumbs to help us through? And if so, who would that be? And if it was Dr. Sawyer just playing with us the whole time, that would be interesting. But something about this makes me think that it's not him. I think therefore I am, and my mind is intact. Oh, there's the brain. Just interesting. Did the bigger bodies do an experiment on him, or maybe the prototype? Because we know he's seen the prototype's hand like that. You have no idea what kind of mistake you just made. Oh, okay. That's what I really wanted to see. That one looked really interesting. Okay, strong. You will regret this. This will not stop me. Wow. Okay. What am I looking at? All right, this might be something that people in the comments are going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she doesn't know what this is. Obviously, this looks like one of our hands. But what in the world is this? Some kind of symbol? It looks physical, like it's on the wall. Should be looking like an alien a little bit. I don't know. Oh, is it a photo? Like a very ornate frame? I don't know. Shrine? Something. Interesting. Okay. You will not stop me. You will regret this. Got it. I already do, buddy. I already do. Trust me. Okay, yeah. So this is more of the systems starting up. And him full-bodied. Access to all the information. Interesting, that green light. Maybe just the light really up close, but seems specific. I am mind only. I am where I am. I am mind only, nowhere. Interesting. And yet, that's got to be something. Have people figured this out already? Like, is this part of like a later part of the ARG? That is specific, isn't it? Just a single frame of that. And yet I can use it. Oh, this is freaky. He's freaky. Oh, he's a little freak, isn't he? The minds of men. Oh, everywhere. Nowhere and yet everywhere, right? Okay. Are easy to break. Oop. Flesh and bone, a broken world I will fix when no one could. Interesting. Hold on. Whoa. Flesh and bone, a broken world I will fix when no one could. See, this is giving me William Afton, well, my headcanon, I suppose, of William Afton, or at least Silver Eyes William Afton. I'm going to make it to where people don't die, or I'm going to make us stronger than we were, like flesh and bone, like all of that idea of like the machine and all these other inorganic things are superior to the organic because the organic decays, the organic dies. And I can create something that is forever and eternal and better because of it. Even though that seems to be not quite the case. Like every time he, and this is just yeah, hold on. Let me go full screen real quick. Because the thing is, every time Sawyer, Dr. Sawyer, or really any of the people working on the Bigger Bodies Initiative try to, put a child's mind into one of these bigger bodies or whatever. I mean, like they still seem to have like a level of organic material in them. They seem to like lose a level of their humanity. They lose a piece of that, something important, and all that seems to remain is like a very intense drive towards a specific thing. I would say Mommy Longlegs is almost an exception because she does seem to come out very well articulated and able to, but she, and she protects the children, but she's like super hostile, which I mean, obviously, like, wouldn't you be? Oh my gosh, girl, I understand Mommy Longlegs' plight. Let me tell you that right now. To like watch like these children grow up just to know that they may turn out to be like you, and that you're not super happy about your position. But it's just interesting the way they seem to lose a piece of an integral part of themselves and their humanity, and what remains is so hollow. That sort of gives me William Afton vibes, and kind of the way that the missing children and things like that are like haunting the suits are really only shells, in a way, and they can only act on certain impulses. It almost seems like the overarching message of Poppy Playtime is this idea of eternal life, meaning sacrificing your humanity. You cannot live forever without losing your humanity. And that's a message that has played out in other properties with similar themes, story arcs with similar themes. Doctor Who has done it before with Me, this character who is not meant to live forever, but is given the ability to live forever. Long story, but she slowly loses an understanding of really who she is, living 100, and more lives, you know, living until the end of the universe, basically. Big spoilers for Doctor Who, but if you start at the beginning, by the time you get to her, you're going to have forgotten everything I've said. So, all that to say, I think it's just a very interesting sort of theming that we're seeing here. All right, let me see what else, if any. See, he's got like bird feet. See his little claw feet? Got little birds. It's almost like these claw thingies are what we see grab Catnap. So it's not an arm, but a leg. One step closer. You fools, you thought you could stop me, but you cannot. One step closer, one step closer, one step closer. Interesting. Ooh, I don't think there was anything there. We have to check. That is a gorgeous visual, isn't it? I don't want to say cliche, but that's the best word I have right now. It's kind of a cliche image for like a horror science fiction kind of thing. The man standing in front of all the screens. I mean, but it's powerful. I don't know. It gets me. It gets me. And the fact that his whole deal seems to be like a surveillance monster of surveillance. See, we can see his claws a lot clearer now. It does seem like, right? Like that's what grabbed Catnap was those claws. I would have to say, if someone was to ask me. Oh my gosh. Did you notice them moving like that? Oh my gosh. Look in the depths. It's almost like their eyes looking at him. Is that Yarnaby or something? Or are those his eyes looking out? Is that the idea? Oh, that's freaky. Oh my, oh my. Oh, there we go. He turns his eye on. Freak. Am I right? Wow. Okay. So yeah, I would say like pretty much with no uncertainty. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Yeah. I would say pretty much with no uncertainty that these little claws down here are what grabbed Catnap. I'm really excited to fight this one. Well, let me be so clear. I don't know if I'm going to play Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 because I haven't played Chapters 1 through 3. I don't even know if my system could run it and also stream. But if you pressure me enough, I might. So feel free to pressure me. It's so weird that he's got these like very humanistic eyes and kind of body. It's very smart of them to keep it in shadows. I hope if they're smart, they'll keep this in shadows until we see it in the game. I really love this character design because every single Poppy Playtime character is technically this, a mishmash of like organic parts and inorganic parts. And this is like a culmination of that, forcing us in a way to see the more real side of it. This is just a mangled machinery kind of cobbled together situation with still a very active human mind and clearly some organic material involved. Very freaky stuff. I'm very intrigued to see what Chapter 4 brings us. I feel like I have to, what's the word? 2 trailers ago, right? All we knew about were the smiling critters and Yarnaby. And I was like, I am not excited about this. Like, Yarnaby looks really cool. Very, very cute design. Perfect name. Love that. He's got a tragic backstory. Just, you know, it's all good and well. But I was really worried about Chapter 4 2 trailers ago. But this has got me in a better place. Story-wise. And the story I care about so much more than gameplay, unfortunately. But, I say unfortunately, but you know. But this has got me a lot more excited. I don't have as much to say as I really thought that I would because if you weren't aware of the ARG, again, if I wasn't aware of the ARG, if I hadn't looked all that up, I'd be like, what is going on? And in ways, I almost wish that I hadn't because I want to know if I would have guessed, like, oh, this is I think I would have. For what it's worth, if you followed the series from beginning to now and just with the stuff we get from the games, I think you probably could have gone ahead and guessed that this was Dr. Sawyer, the one from the Bigger Bodies Initiative, based on what's in that text when the white stuff's on screen, when it's like staticky. I think that like you could have clocked it. I don't remember how much we learned about the fire from the ARG, but that's clearly referenced here. And I'm wondering, because people were killed in the fire. People were hurt. And I'm wondering if Dr. Sawyer was burned or in some kind of way physically disfigured. And that had something to do with him ending up as a bigger body. It's weird that as much as I researched the ARG, there's still so much I'm not fully sure of. I get the players. I get the Young Geniuses stuff. I get Elliot Ludwig trying to foster a love of learning and scientific advancement and things like that. But he kind of created a monster, I would say. As much as I feel like I know about Poppy Playtime, every time I try to talk about it, I feel like my mind just goes blank. It's like I've spent more time getting a grasp on Five Nights at Freddy's to where I feel confident talking about it, but Poppy Playtime, I haven't had as much time with overall. I think that making Dr. Sawyer one of the bosses or the big bads of the game is brilliant. I think a lot of people may have even been disappointed if something like this didn't happen. So I think that they are probably really listening to their audience. I think my only, I don't want to say complaint, but I think my only like criticism is what carries over from last video, where I do just wish that in these newer chapters we were getting more of the characters that they already introduced and not so much new characters every time. There's so many characters that don't really have a place. It would just like be nice. I don't know. Or to just not introduce them. I don't know. Here, at the end of the day, and I think that we've talked about this in the comments a little bit, it's a toy company. There's lots of toys. I'm with you. It's all good. It's all good and well. It would just be like nice if it's just the characters are getting a little crowded. Like the cast of characters is getting a little crowded. And that's why I have such a hard time even remembering like all the human names of the people in the story, like Rich and Elliot and Leith and Dr. Sawyer, whose first name consistently escapes me because I've heard him called Dr. Sawyer so many times. But there's just so many. And then for chapter 4 to be introducing all these nightmare critters, which is what, like 6 to 8? I don't remember how many of each thing there are. New characters on top of the piano playing dinosaur, who probably has a name that I don't care to look up, Yarnaby, and the scientist, or the doctor, not the scientist. It's just all a lot. It's just all a lot. And again, you can do whatever you want. It's their story, and if all these players are important, then they're important. And then you have side characters and all that. That's all good and well. This is purely my opinion. If we were going to be doing new characters for the future chapters, that they were thought out in advance or seeded out. Because, like, there's a part of me that goes, well, they didn't really know how successful it was going to be. So, obviously, chapter 1, whatever. At a certain point, you know your story is going to be, like, multiple chapters. And that's how you're going to be releasing it. So, my criticism stands from last time where I'm like, I accept that this is a toy company with a lot of toys that they would produce over a lifetime. And not every single one of them get turned into a bigger body. Not every single one of them is going to be a part of the main storyline. But the ones that are, it doesn't make sense that they would have never been mentioned or advertised at any point up until the chapter where they just so suddenly appear. That is the criticism. Fine. That's how they do it. That's fine. And it's their story. And there's a lot of you out there who genuinely really, really love it. And I'm all about it. And to reiterate again, I love Yarnaby's design. I love the toy dinosaur piano things design. The Pianosaurus. I also see the gameplay mechanics working really well, with there being a sound lore aspect to the dinosaur piano, and Yarnaby being in cahoots with the prototype and kind of checking in with, not the prototype, oh my gosh, with the doctor and checking in with him and then feeding information and things like that. Being a guard dog, being a watchful eye, that kind of stuff. Like, it's all going to play very well together. and I accept it, and I'm not angry at it or anything like that. I just think that if they'd thought ahead a little better, plan their story out, seeding things out, I think it would have been cool to see like Yarnaby not even explained, but just like dolls of this little lion plush. And maybe there he has like a zipper or something that like makes sense why his like face opens up like he's a little purse, or it's one of those like a popple. You can like put the pet away and then you can also like pull it back out. I'm going to try to put a visual on screen, but I think it's called a popple. It could have very well played off of the 90s, early aughts nostalgia that it seems like we play on a lot in this franchise with a character like that, that would have made the bigger body Yarnaby more impactful, in my opinion. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Why do I feel this constant need to defend the fact that I have criticisms of something? Like, you don't have to have the same criticisms as I do. I think it's totally fair if you think that the way that they do their storytelling is perfect and you have no notes. I think that's great because we live in a crazy world, and it's like if you can just find something you love and adore, and it fills you with joy, and it can do no wrong, and that kind of, I think that's so great. I think that's so beautiful. And if you are down with the nightmare critters, I think that's awesome. I understand the marketing decisions going on at Mob Entertainment. I think just ask somebody who does put a lot of emphasis on storytelling and who was the generation who was marketed towards with these things. I'm like, I get it. Like, I totally get how like they could have seeded these things out, or design them in a way that they were resembling these sort of toys from, at the very least, things I'm aware of from an era. Those are just my thoughts. But if I'm only talking about the positives, one of the best, if not the best, Poppy Playtime trailer to have dropped in the history of Poppy Playtime. And I am very hype for the game now. If the gameplay is consistent, we don't have like a buggy mess on our hands, I think this will be people's favorite Poppy Playtime chapter. And that's what you want as a developer. You always want the next one upping the ante, and that is what they're doing. They're making a very conscious decision to grow with their audience. I have to commend them on all of that. As long as you don't ever make another NFT, I think we're going to be okay. So I'm not gonna glean any further on this. I like the things that I've said. I've been recording for over an hour, if you can believe it. But I really like that trailer. I'm really excited to see if there's more elements of the ARG in that one freeze frame. I think that their decision to do the ARG is smart. I think that's great for people who want more, but the story is still digestible, and the ARG is free. The ARG is free. Their books are far and few between. Like, we got to give them some props where props are due here. Like, they're doing a good job telling their story with this auxiliary stuff so that the gameplay maybe is not so long or not so bogged down. Maybe it allows them to make their games faster. If the big lore dumps are in these things that are much cheaper to produce and don't require, the 3D animation or as many team members to focus on them. I mean, you have to stop and go, that's brilliant, and I wish Five Nights at Freddy's did more of that. I wish that maybe even Bendy had done a little more of that. There are other properties that I'm like, you could have done more of that instead of writing 400,000 books. I think it's smart, especially for an indie team. And I even think that, bigger companies could get a lot of loyal consumers on their side if they engaged more in this kind of behavior. So I want that all to be out there. I want to say positive things because I do believe that they deserve it. And I'm really excited about the Doctor. And I really hope that the gameplay and experience for the gamer, the player, lives up to our expectations, because they have a solid story, solid character design, a great hidden in the shadows big main person to build up over the course of the game. I'm excited. I have to raise the white flag a little bit, because I know last video that we talked about Poppy Playtime, I was a lot more critical. So I'm capable of going, okay, we didn't see all they had to show us yet. My criticisms from that video still remain, but I think they are I'm less concerned about the future of Poppy Playtime having seen this. I hope that all makes sense. And with all that being said, I have a Christmas to go enjoy. I hope that you have something to enjoy this holiday season. You may not celebrate Christmas. Hanukkah actually starts on Christmas this year, I believe. So they're both running simultaneously. So if you are a celebrator of any other festivities in the end of the year realm of things, I really do hope that they're good. Anyway, if you would like the video, if you enjoyed it, subscribe to become a part of the nervous system. I upload videos every week and go live on Wednesdays and Fridays most of the time. But if you can't wait, there are videos on the screen right now just for you. Okay, bye. No brands out. No free clout.